So here's an off-the-cuff video. Off two cuffs. Um, this is for those who want to learn how to play real quick. This is how I learned when I was. My grandpa gave me a guitar that he had kind of fixed up and kind of made himself a little bit too. Um, and I also, when I was in Northampton in my little Bedford Terrace apartment, Massachusetts, there was a classical guitar in the basement that somebody had abandoned, and so I sat down there and I brought it up and played it, and it was easy to play because of nylon strings, and the action was pretty low compared to the one my grandpa gave me. Um, but I learned on both of those instruments this idea, and then I, eventually branched out, but into different tunings and all that. But uh, what I like about this way of learning, and I've taught it this way too, is that you get the basic skills first. How to work these fingers and how to kind of move your way around the neck and how to push an individual string and all that. Very simple. You eliminate all the variables and just keep it really consistently simple. Another thing too about this system is that it exploits the entire neck. You don't actually stick down here and just playing first position or half position. You just move all around, okay? And so, um, and if you think about what the neck is, it's just like a piano. The whole thing, just like a piano. So, um, on a piano, there's 12 keys until you start repeating them in terms of the letters, in terms of also how they look too. And there's an asymmetry in the keyboard. It's got two black notes, three black notes, two, three, two, three, two. And there's also a spot where there's two white notes touching each other, and there's another spot where two whites don't touch. So that the E and F, touch together, there's no intervening black note. And B and C, there's no intervening black note. So without bogging it all down, this is exactly the same way. So if you have 12 keys and 12 notes on the piano, it goes white, black, white. If you start at C, it goes white, black, white, black, white. Then it goes white again, and it goes black, white, black, white, black, white, and then white again. So it's this exact same thing on this instrument too. If C is open, I didn't do anything. I just did fingering. I just hit the bottom string. But oh, by the way, I should tell you this too. I'm tuned to C minor. C, G, C, E flat. Okay. So if C is open, then if I push on the little space between the fret here, this is called the fret. These are frets. And this is kind of like a fret. It's called a nut. And so essentially, like if I were to push down, I would push my finger right before that little fret, not too far before it, not on it, just right before it. Well, over here, it's almost like your finger's doing the same thing. It's just you don't need your finger to do it because it's held down by the tuner and the nut's high enough to hold it. So it's as if your finger was here, but you're just playing open. So if you think of piano, it goes what? It goes C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, B, flat, B, C. And you could go C, so you can see this, C sharp, slide a bit, D, D sharp, E, F, keep going, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, B flat, B, C. And now I've just done all the 12 notes, and that's 13 is the high C. It can also be thought of this way. You can go C is white, so white, black, white, black, white, white, and you go black, white, black, white, black, white, white. So between here and here, white, white, and between here and here, those are what are called half steps. It's just where the notes are directly touching. Whole step is, half is a whole. So it would be, instead of two frets adjacent, it would be you'd skip a fret, and this would be, for example, from here to there would be a whole step. So if I wanted to go from C to D, I wouldn't play the C sharp, I would just go directly to there, D. If I want to go D to E, I go to there. So in between from here to there, you see this. So this second fret to that fourth fret. E to F, you don't skip. E, F is just directly touching. And that buzz is caused by my finger being way too far before the fret. That's all it is. Okay. So if you notice this too, so pianos have asymmetry. They've got the two blacks and the three blacks, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2. It's the lopsidedness that helps you find your way around. Guitar doesn't have that, but it does, baritone ukulele doesn't have it either. But it's got dots all in here. So if you notice this, there's a dot. There's a dot, there's a dot, there's a dot. Some of these will have a double dot for the octave. Sometimes this dot here is there instead. But over here, if I'm just doing the white notes, this would be your fourth white note up, and that would be your fifth white note up. The first dot and the second dot, and the octave would be here. So you can right away play a very, simple song like Silent Night by going, from open with one chord, which is the C major chord. We'll get to the chord in a second. That first dot is the basis of your F chord, and then the second dot is the basis of your G chord. You only use C, F, and G, and only uses major chords. So if I wanted to do a chord, which is multiple notes, either played together or thought about together as a unit, you can get them very simply. I'm already tuned by default to a minor chord. It goes C, G, C, E flat. Okay. All I got to do is what's called a bar. So if you're able to see it, it's a clamp. Hey, everybody. It's a very flat second finger, curly hair here. Thumb acts as the other push from the bottom underneath the neck. It's not a hard push, just enough to get your finger to be flat and to keep your enough pressure so that it makes a nice sound. So I get every single. There's 12 major chords, going up. There's 12 minor chords as well. So I can get them all: C minor, C sharp, D, E flat, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, B flat, B, C. I can also get major chords very simply. If you notice this, that's considered the minor note in there. Now it's major. All I did was on this top string, I pushed that fret. So it goes from C minor. So you get bum, 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 all those frogs are through string. I can do that here too. I can do a full bar. There's your F minor chord. That's on that first dot. Slap that finger in the equivalent spot. Remember, it was here. Probably better to use your third finger there and slide it up. And then slap the finger on. There's your major. Minor, major, minor, major. Go to the fifth fret. Minor, major, minor, major, minor, major. Make sense? So you can do Silent Night. Major. Too little, too silent. Silent night, holy night. G and G, C and C. F and F and C and C. F and F and C and C. G and G and C, C. C and G and C. Okay? Not hard. That's a piece that uses, all major chords. And it only uses, again, just the dots. And I have dots on the side. That's how I can see what I'm doing. I have to cream and echo the ground. If you do a song that has major and minor combined, it's like Green Sleeves would be I'm G minor, I'm B flat major, I'm F major, I'm D minor, and I'm E flat major, and I'm C minor, and then I do a funky suspension, and then to D major, and I go G minor, and back to B flat major, and down to F major, and down to D minor, and now to E flat major, and then I have a D major chord, and then I have a G major, and then I go B flat and G minor and F major and D minor and E flat major and C minor and back to D major. And then I get the same thing. B flat major, G minor, F major and D minor and E flat major and D major and then back to G major. So notice this, I never stop, pretty much unless I'm completely open, losing contact with the fretboard. I'm sliding this third finger up, to make it major chords. I'm sliding my, second finger clamp up and down. Okay, chomp, chomp, chomp. The nice thing too is that you can also be really consistent with this hand. Notice I was just strumming. That was easy. But if I have, I could strum up and down. I only strum down in that case. But you can also finger pick if you have the lowest string as your thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth. You're just going successively up and then successively down without repeating the top. I can go like I'm G minor and B flat major, and now I'm F major and D minor, and now I'm E E flat. You get the idea? You know, silent night. We're supposed to sing like silent. Whoops, E major. Silent night.